run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it
Oh,
up.
the happiest of Thursdays to all of you out there in NBA world. This is Run It Back. I'm Michelle. That's Chandler. That's Mr. Lou. And we got, I love it so much. We got a lot of basketball to get to. We do want to send out our thoughts, our hugs, our positive vibes out to Pop. I know he would hate that, so we'll just leave it at that and put it out into the universe. And we got Bobby Portis coming up a little bit later in this show, but my gosh, what a bizarro World Wednesday night it was. If you like points,
holy buckets.
We got a lot of points, and we're going to start with the man. Victor Wembanyama, career high, 50 points. He played 32, but he actually did it in, 27 minutes against the Wizards? 18 of 29 from the field, 8 of 16 from three, 6 of 9 from the free throw line. Youngest center in NBA history to have a 50-point game, the fourth youngest player ever,
youngest player.
and the 8th in franchise history to score 50. It's a lot. Didn't we just have an anonymous executive talk about how he doesn't impact the offense? Well, he did.
Yeah.
That's why we don't respect
and that's why
anonymous anything.
Put your name on that. Where, as far as the short little list of performances that we've already gotten out of Wemby, where are you putting this one?
It's got to be up there. This is an insane game. Just the efficiency in which he did it at. And he did it taking 9 free throws. He did it shooting 18 of 29 from the field and 50% from the three in 26.5 minutes. That, to me, is the most important and the most glaring stat, is that he basically had 50 points in half of an NBA game. Like, that is unbelievable. And this kind of, to me, was just like this reminder, like, look, we're not going to win a lot of games this year. This is a process. We are developing.
500.
We are developing our team here, but don't forget about me. I'm still the future of this league, and this was an absolutely dominant performance. And I don't remember ever recalling a game this impressive.
There you go.
Look at that.
That's a good list.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's really good company to be in.
And by the way, Devin Booker, I think that game had 70. So that's, remember he had 70 when he was 20?
That's insane.
So that's exclusive company that he's in. Hell of a game.
I got to ask you, Lou, Gigi Jackson got a little smoke because he said that he's the greatest of all time, or will be the greatest of all time. I personally thought he sounded very sane when he said that. What'd you think now? Like, when you see something like this out of Wemby?
No, amazing performance, right? You can't really cut that. You can see the company that he's in and the guys that's been able to do that in their careers so early. You know, you're looking at 20-year-olds putting up these big time numbers. But when you talk about the greatest of all time, I think about the bodies of work. You know, I think about championships. I think about impact on the organizations, impact on the city that you have. He's still building. He's still getting there. Like, we haven't even seen him in the playoffs yet. No. We haven't seen a deep playoff run. You know, he hadn't even scratched the surface of the things that he's going to be capable of doing throughout the course of his career. So putting him in that conversation is very, very premature, but he's doing a great job of putting us on notice early on.
Yeah, talent-wise, it's undeniable. This kid is going to continue to do these type of things on the floor if he stays healthy. I think that's the big question. As far as the GOAT conversation, it's so early. It's his second season. We got to give him time to develop, but he is on that path to be in that conversation, which is nuts to say because he's only, played 80 to 100 games or whatever he's played so far. So it truly is. We've never seen anything like it, and we continue to say that. Just his size, his ability to score, his capability on the defensive end. He's going to win multiple defensive players a year. It's just how much can this team build around him? How much success can they have? And can they win big? And can he do this in the postseason and the finals and win championships? And that all goes into becoming one of the greatest players of all time. So I'm excited to see because the talent is sky's the limit.
If you had to start a franchise right now, today.
Oh, it's not even close. I'm going with
him?
That guy.
No one's before him?
No.
Wow.
My opinion is different.
Really?
Well, I'd like to hear it.
Yeah, not jarringly. I'm just, it's just some young guys out there that, if it's not Wemby, like I would like a shot at an Ant Edwards or if I had a time machine, a Jokic or something like that. You remember when Jokic came in the league, Denver had to make a decision between him and Nurkic because, their games were similar. At first glance, I thought they made the wrong decision until everything started panning out. But if you're gonna start your organization with somebody, Wemby would be an obvious pick. But I still like an Ant Edwards or a SGA now that you see what they've been able to do.
So you'd rather the second and third pick than the first pick? Like if I got Wemby, you'd want 2 and 3, and you'd go with 2.
Yeah, because I'm seeing the success that they're having. I'm seeing the success.
So he's using, precedent right now, what they've got.
Yeah, like Wemby's, he's early in his career, he's in his second year, but again, we've seen these great individual performances, that hasn't translated over to team wins. Now, we're comparing apples to oranges because, you know, you look at an OKC, they got a lot of young guys that were highly talented.
Put Wemby on the Thunder?
Yeah,
Ooh,
you know.
God.
So I understand the prospect of that, but when you think about impact, it's some guys out there that's having a much larger impact that's impacting winning just opposed to individual stats.
So Lou hates
That's my
Wemby.
thing.
I'm putting it in my notes. Okay,
No,
good, got
not
it.
at all.
Like I said, a lot of points last night. Let's get to the other guy who dropped, 59 on the evening, goes by the name of Giannis. This is a Bucks win, 127-120 in overtime over the Pistons. 21 of 34 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, and 16 of 17 from the line. It's his second highest scoring game. He had that 64-pointer last season against Indiana, but whose was better? Chandler?
His was better. And first of all, when he's making jump shots like that, it just opens up everything. His game, he hit a 3. He's getting downhill. He scored of the team's 24 points in the first quarter. Giannis had 22 of them. And he had 11 points in overtime. So he got them off to a good start, and then he closed the game for him. After, by the way, a horrific call at the end of the game, which I don't know if we're talking that. I haven't looked ahead yet, but they reviewed it and still got it wrong, which that always really blows my mind. But this was impressive. He basically said, enough losing. I'm going to put my team on my back. I'm going to do anything it takes. 56-3. He affected the game on 59, 14-7. He affected the game on both sides of the floor. This was a statement game for him. And again, let's not forget, if he didn't do this didn't go his way, this is a loss to the Pistons on a back-to-back on an overtime game the night before. So this might be just what they needed to have this confidence and to have him kind of have this breakout game to rally the troops around him. But this just as easily could have went the other way, where they lose to the Detroit Pistons on a back-to-back.
In fairness, can we agree, though, like the Bulls, the Pistons, are scrappy?
They're scrappy.
They're kind of dangerous little teams.
The Nets are like better than we thought. Like these teams they're scrappy. But again, this was a hell of a game. He literally did this by himself. But it could have just as easily went the other way, and that all hell would have broke loose if they lost this game.
I know, Lou. We had to address that because it is an overtime win, and it took 59 points out of their best player. Is that alarming to you?
No, I mean, they're struggling. They're struggling, and like we said, that Detroit Pistons team, they're scrappy. They're still trying to find their rhythm with so much young talent, and even bringing the Tobias Harris over and bringing those veterans over there to help them win games. They're competing at a level that's gonna get them in a lot of doors of winning basketball games. But Giannis need all 59 of these to win. Dame Lillard being out and him having a big game, it's a big confidence and morale boost for the Milwaukee Bucks. My thing is, will they be able to sustain this? Can they put 2 or 3 together to get them back in the conversation of being one of the teams that's going to be competitive in the East?
I feel for the rookie, too, on Detroit, the Holland. He had a chance there to steal the game, 2 free throws.
I'll never forget
He's never
that.
had that kind of pressure early in his career, so hopefully he bounces back and grows from that, because that was brutal.
Don't worry, we had
59 against the Pistons and a 50 against the Wizards.
Does it say more about the Pistons and the Wizards, or we're chalking up to good offensive games?
Can it be a little of both?
It can be a little of both.
I think it could be a little
Great performance.
Looking at Wemby, it's not fair to have Valanciunas trying to guard him at the 3-point line.
Also, again, I don't want to
Valanciunas
nitpick here.
does cry a
I
lot,
wish we
though.
could
Sheesh.
play the play at the end of the game. They review it and still got it wrong. Like, I don't understand how that happens.
First of all, that does happen.
It's like, what are they watching differently than we're watching?
Well, but we had an Isaiah Stewart sighting, and with all the fighting talk and all the good stuff, we got this. This was earlier in the game. This is not what you're talking about at all. But he was ejected after pulling Giannis down. What do we make of this one?
Dirty, man.
Silly play.
This dude's gonna hurt somebody.
Dirty? Are we both saying dirty?
It's absolutely dirty.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, it's a dirty play.
It's not great.
Look at him. That's not.
That's
even-
bad
that's
slow.
not
He's
a
dragging
basketball.
him like a dog, and he's in the air. Like that is.
In a perfect world, would somebody from the Bucks go over there and fight?
Punch him in the, like Bobby Portis, who we got coming
Yeah.
up next. If he was on the floor, I guarantee you there's some.
Something happens there.
There's
Fisticuffs.
a dust up. Yeah. Which, and by the way, you don't touch anyone like that, let alone your best player and the guy that's
I don't love it.
giving you 60 to this win. So that's bullshit. That's a bad play.
All right, dirty play. We don't like it. Next, Chicago in New York last night. This one, talking about mistakes made. The Knicks were actually down by as many as 22. This was in the third. They rallied. They got 46 out of Cat. Jalen Brunson put the Knicks up 123-121 with 4 seconds left. And then this happens. Josh Hart fouls Kobe White, who then makes all 3 free throws.
Wow.
Brunson has a shot to be the hero. Time expires. Bulls win! There's a lot in this one, Chandler, but let's start with the foul. And as soon as it happened, you could feel the air. Just, no! What happened here?
You kind of live with it because it's an all-out effort play, but Josh Hart, he's he's too vet. He's too mature for this play. And we looked it up. I think it's like less than a 3.5% chance that defenders block jump shooters in the NBA. So you're more than likely going to foul them. And the game on the line, you just can't put yourself, your team in this situation. Guys now are too good, too, at flopping, at getting the call, even if they're kind of jumping their body a certain direction. Well, on the review, it still looks like a foul because there was illegal contact on the play. It's a tough play to do. Again, as a vet, as a mature guy, you can't give him that opportunity. And again, shout out to Kobe White. He's stepped up and knocked down all three.
Hostile territory.
Clearly, it's tough to do. We didn't see in the game before, but this was a bad foul. But you know what? I bet you Tibbs is living with this. This is what he instills them. It's a hard-nosed play, but you got to be smarter.
And the play before that, there was sort of fisticuffs, like little scrappiness going on. Josh Hart, Zach LaVine, all that. So it was like, oh, the building was feeling it. The momentum was high, and then just like that. I don't know, Lou. I see a vet make a move like that, and I feel bad.
Yeah.
Like, what
A
happened?
lot of bonehead plays.
Yeah,
Like
I'm sure he'll want that play back. You know, he got a rear contest, and that was the right thing to do. But he just got a little excited and ran into his body. And a lot of times at the end of the clock like that, you don't even really put yourself in that position. You know, they're going to tell you contest without fouling. Make sure you stay in front of the basketball. We'll take our chances with a three. It looked like he just caught a bad angle, and Kobe White was able, to get 3 free throws out of it. But I'm sure he's kicking himself. And, even though they had an opportunity to win that game, with Jalen Brunson having that shot right there, I'm sure he's kicking himself and want that play back.
The old rear contest, huh?
Anyways, you can't
Proud of that
yourself.
one? You proud? All right, well, let that
You
one
waited
sit
30
for a second.
seconds to say
Just
that.
let it simmer. Cat did have the 46 points, though, and people watching that game, especially Knicks fans, are like, this is the Cat we want every single night, Lou. But that's not sustainable. Can we expect close-ish?
You shouldn't. You shouldn't, but, they found something. He has to be one of the aggressors, right? We know what Jalen Brunson is going to bring to the table, but as you're introducing yourself to this New York Knicks fan base, you got to let them know why they call me one of the best shooters in the NBA.
Why, who did? Who called?
Why he calls himself, one of the...
love it.
Yeah, self-proclaimed, but I think this is the best version of Cat. When you see him putting so much pressure on the defense by being able to put that ball on the ground. This is a 6'10" guy coming at you full speed that knows how to finish at the rim. When he's playing in this bag, that opens up the three-point line, that opens up him wanting to play a little bit with the basketball and just being aggressive. So this is something that the New York Knicks fans can kind of look at and say, hey, bro, we need this every single night. This is a great game.
What if I told you he's averaging 27 and 12 on 55% from the field and 50 from the three?
That's why he's there.
Like, he's, again, their record, and he's also played every single game. He's available, which nowadays is it's great. Their record is a little shocking. I think everyone expected them to kind of come out of the gate swinging and be this elite team right away, which we, as the professionals, we are. We called it that it's going to take time. You don't add 2 players like they did to their team and not have that time, of chemistry. And they're still missing some bench players like Precious and Robinson. They're going to add, some depth to that team, but. I think the more games they start winning, the higher they start running up there in the standings, Cat is going to start getting a lot more respect because those numbers don't lie, and they're awesome.
And you know what? Let's give the New York Knicks fans some credit. We haven't heard them moaning and groaning yet. They hadn't started complaining yet. They're being patient because they see the potential that this group has. And especially when Cat goes out and give you numbers like this, it's easy for you to say, I can't wait till we get the rest of our guys back.
Yeah.
We're going to have a chance to compete at the top of the top.
It's the long game we're looking at. By the way, the Bulls did win this game, and Zach LaVine had 31. He's having a pretty good season so far. And they are scrappy, but yet we're going to enter that part of the year where it seems like we do every single season. They're going to end up trading him at some point.
I think he's going to always be shopped. He's always going to be on the block, and he's always going to be productive as well. He's a very talented offensive scorer. He can shoot the ball. He can handle. He can play the 2-man game, pick and roll. He's always going to give you close to 25 and 5. Like, he is that good offensively, but he's also appealing to a lot of other teams. You look at other teams like the Lakers, they could really use him. He can create his own shot. He takes smaller guys on the post. He's got unlimited range, as we see here. So it's not about talent ever with him. And give him credit, too. He came into preseason, the training camp, and he said, listen, I'm not going to be a distraction. I am here. I will do whatever the team needs me to do. He will be a vet. So he's handled this the right way, and I think he's put himself in the best position to get moved by his play and his behavior off the court.
You know what the problem is, though? They're at a catch weight. Like, even though he's been shopped for the last 2 or 3 seasons, they're still a game out of third. You know, so if you're the Chicago Bulls,
go for it at this
yeah,
point,
it's
right?
like we're
East is wide open.
Yeah, we're in the mix. So why would we want to trade this guy? But at the same time, it's like it's never good enough, but it's never bad enough.
You're just stuck.
They're right there in the middle. Again, they can go on a 2-game winning streak and be one of the top 3 teams in the East in this early season. And so if you're the Chicago Bulls, how do you handle that? How do you deal with that moving forward?
It's also hard to have a sports show every day and not look at like the rankings. And
Yeah, I mean,
the
that's kind
seedings,
of-
because like it's what we do. But it's early.
It's very early.
It's early. We're gonna say that till like
About a month
Christmas.
in, yeah.
But again, like Lou said, the Eastern Conference, there's ever a year where it is wide open. Like it's right now. So maybe you do consider keeping this team together and going for it.
I just feel bad every year we have to say it's like, okay, it's that time of the year.
He's just
We
one of
talk
those
about
guys
Zach
that's
LaVine.
always, it's like Buddy Hield.
Always.
He's always on the trading block.
I know. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll stay in the East, though, for the next one. They did it! The Cleveland Cavaliers can't lose. 13-0 in Philly. Of course, there was no Embiid, no PG, no Maxey. They're only the 6th team to start a season 13-0. Darius Garland with 25, Donovan Mitchell with 23. The rookie, Jared McCain, finished with 34 points and 10 assists. But right now, why not? Let's do a monthly MVP check.
Why not do an MVP check in November?
But how is it not Donovan Mitchell? Like, who else are we putting in this conversation?
Right now,
Right
if the voting
now.
stopped, it's got to be him. They're
Has to be.
13-0. He's averaging 24 and 4. He's efficient. He is leading this team to a historic start. So again, it goes kind of with the voting, where we always have these fits of what goes into it. Is it the best player on the best team? Because I think it should be, and that's usually what gets to. And so right now, that is Donovan Mitchell. He is the best player on the best team. They are top 5 offensively. They are top 5 defensively. They are healthy. They are rolling. So right now, yeah, season ends. Donovan Mitchell MVP. Kenny Atkinson Coach of the Year.
Hold up.
It's not even close. Like how do you even? How is there even an argument here?
Apparently, he's 8th favorite right now. I get it. It's a month.
Because
Whatever.
it's 13 games, not 82. But it's.
But who are the 7 people ahead of him?
Like
Well, you got household names,
SGA, Tatum is going to be in there. Like
2.
Anthony
Jokic,
Davis,
Luka
Jokic,
Doncic,
Luka.
Anthony
Come
Edwards.
on, dude. This
Anthony
team hasn't
Davis.
lost a game yet.
I know, but I think
LeBron James is probably
even the
still in that
voting
conversation.
knows it's going to
Absolutely.
eventually even out. They're not going to
take
go undefeated.
Absolutely.
They're not. You don't think?
I don't think
Let's
so.
check
I'm
the
going to go out on a
math.
limb and say they're not going to go 82-0. But
I know,
listen,
it's
right
just
now,
weird.
yeah, he's the MVP 13 games in, no doubt.
No doubt. And I would remember that.
13-game MVP.
Hey, we're gonna check monthly. We'll do it once a month.
We'll probably check after 14 games.
We'll just double check again. Look, the Philly had basically none of their big 3 was out there, but we did get to see a lot of Jared McCain. Maybe people met him for the first time last night. He scored at least 20 points now in 3 straight games. All right, Lou, we haven't really talked about him at all on this show. Maybe we should start today.
So yesterday we talked about Philly finding bright spots, and we couldn't really find one. Well, today it's different. Jared McCain, he's showing you, I can really score this basketball. So when a Tyrese Maxey or a Paul George is out, now we got a young rookie kid that we can lean on that can put the ball in the basket for us. He was able to get to his spots. Even though he's a little undersized, I was surprised at how he was able to get in the middle of the lane, finish over a lot of contact, take his time, be patient. Like none of these shots are rushed. Like he looks like a seasoned vet in this game. So if you're the Philadelphia 76ers, you're looking at this kid and say, you very much can be, well, with the injuries we have, on a lot of given nights, he can be the second or third best option that you have, especially with guys in and out of the lineup. And, you know, sometimes when you see PG out there, when you see a Tyrese Maxey, he kind of just floats during the game.
Yeah.
He hadn't found his rhythm yet, but when he was out there by himself, you see what the potential is. And so that can be a bright spot for the Philadelphia 76ers. If I got this kid coming off the bench or starting a little bit for me, I'm drawing up some plays for him to be able to put the ball in the basket for us.
That's fun to watch.
Jared McCain is the only bright spot right now on the 76ers. And you know what he's proven to them? He's proven that for years to come, he is that backcourt running mate with Tyrese Maxey. He is that good. I watched him work out this summer. He's repped by my buddy James Dunleavy. He's unbelievable. He's got unlimited range. He's smaller than you think, but he still can play point guard. He can handle it. He's crafty with his body. I think a lot of things going in with the, you know, he's the big
He's a
on
TikTok
TikTok.
star.
He paints his nails, so it takes some
Get
getting
over
used
it.
to. You know what I mean? But put all that aside, this kid is a hooper. If I could change my pick from Reed Shepherd, who's playing 6 minutes
Here
a
we
game,
go.
to Jared McCain for Rookie of the Year, I think he's going to do it. He's going to continue to get opportunity. He is an absolute sniper. He's one of the better shooters in the league already. He's going to continue to put up great numbers. I got him as Rookie of the Year.
I mean, we're only a month in. You want to switch it officially?
I'm going to stick with him regardless. He's my pick.
With McCain.
He's my pick.
Wow, we
Let's
switched
date
it.
and timestamp this
Yep.
because we
Jared
know Chandler.
McCain, Rookie of the Year, November, what is it?
14.
14th.
Book it.
7/19.
More specific.
45 seconds.
Okay, we got it. All right.
of death.
Wrote it
Let's
down.
lock it in.
There was the moment though, because everybody
And I'll
gets one
paint
of
my
these.
nails if he gets it.
Oh, that must just
And I'll do a little TikTok.
throw your sensibilities into the air. Donovan Mitchell, this is the seal of the game right there, and it's unfortunately McCain was standing there. Is that your welcome to the NBA moment? You think? If we ask him this,
It's the rookie of the year right there.
that's all right. Yeah. But
Yeah.
is that going to be something he's going to be like? Yeah, that might have been.
Yeah, no,
something.
listen, nobody gets out clean. Everybody has their moment.
Everyone gets got.
Steve Nash put me on my ass when I was a rookie.
That's a good one.
That was my moment. Here's his. What about you, Chandler?
Oh my God, I had one every game.
Okay, but is it?
I can't remember.
Is it? Does it always have to be a superstar that's doing it, or can it just be?
No, it could actually be like a normal
That's worse.
role player, which is
Anybody.
way
That's
worse.
way worse. Yeah, yeah. So who was yours?
I'm trying to think of his
Don't
name.
lie
The kid,
either.
No, it was a kid on Denver, played at Baylor. I forgot his name, but he gave me like 30.
So he
early.
wasn't a
And
superstar.
no, he was out of the league in like 2 years, but he destroyed me.
That's awesome. At least Luz was a superstar, so I'm happy for Lou
Yeah,
on that
thanks.
one.
I'm
Yeah,
happy
no
as
worries. Grizzlies.
By the way, I feel much better. Thanks for asking.
But it's been 3 days. Get over it. Grizzlies, Lakers. It's LeBron's third straight triple-double. No big deal. Leading the team over Memphis. He had 35, 12, and 14. Anthony Davis with 21 and 14 rebounds. Jaren Jackson Jr., 29 points. After this one, JJ Redick said LeBron has mastered the game, I'll say.
Yes.
Has anybody mastered it better? Like, Lou, you...
How is he still so good?
Ugh.
Like,
It's annoying.
I literally really enjoy watching the Lakers play still.
It's kind of crazy.
No, he's must-see TV, and it's just incredible. I've run out of compliments. Like, he's been doing this for so long at such a high level. I don't know what else to say. Like JJ Redick saying he's mastered the game. You got to agree. Like, what is it that he can't do at this point?
That
like,
shot is crazy.
He's 40 years old and he's still adding to his game. Like, he wasn't this three-point shooter 5-6 years ago. Now he is. You know, he doesn't have that downhill speed that he's had throughout the 20-year career that he's had, and now he's found other ways to be just as impactful. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, he's mastered the game too, like in his own way. There's been a lot of great players. There's been a lot of great scores. No one has done it the way he's done it, with being so passive, getting his teammates involved, almost to a fault at certain points. You can almost knock him that he passes too much or he defers at the end of the game. It's because he gets off by getting his teammates good looks. He is an unbelievable distributor. He is enough. He's a guy that if I look outside of Jokic, who I would love to play with, like, I want to play with him. He's not like this selfish pig that takes bad shots. He's unbelievable, and so I agree with this statement that he's mastered the game, and he's done it his way, and it really is impressive. Like Lou said, what more can you say about this dude?
It's like you beat the video game. Like, he's
he
done.
continues to be healthy and efficient.
And he started it over.
Yeah, like it's like there's what
The way
now how
he's
to make it
dunking
challenging.
the ball, like
That
the
was
way
silly.
it's outrageous what he's doing. So yeah.
Because like you always say, when we see you walking around this building, it looks painful, and you're not as old as LeBron, so that's kind of crazy to me that that's
Right.
still going on.
Yeah.
We got some leadership moments though out of LeBron as well. He was seen yelling at Rui again. Look, it's happened a few times. I'm assuming it's some leadership stuff. He expects big things out of him. Is it too much if it's just the same guy over and over again? Or is it fine?
I know this body language. This is whatever he's yelling at Rui about is something that he said over and over, over and over, or this is one of their defensive principles, and it's an absolute breakdown of what they're supposed to be doing on the defensive end. You know, you have coaches that no matter what, I want my off guard to be at the nail. The nail is right in the middle of the free throw line. And if you're not there, I'm gonna blow a gasket if you're not there, because that is one of our defensive principles. So with this body language, that looks like he broke one of the unwritten rules of what you're supposed to be doing on the defensive end.
And I don't know what's more impressive, how dominant LeBron still is or how much he still cares.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he's still like losing sleep. You know, he's watching film. You know, he's got the Norma Tech boot. Like, he still cares just as much as he did in his first year as he does in this year. You know what I mean? Like, it is unbelievable what he's doing. Again, we continue to talk about this because he keeps having games like this. His third straight triple-double.
It's a little silly.
Like, and he's
I'm not
getting
gonna lie.
it easy. It's coming.
It doesn't look difficult when he's doing it. By the way, was there ever somebody who you would just keep screwing up and they would yell at you, or maybe vice versa, you yelled at them? Like, has that been a thing? You two nice guys.
No, not like not like in general.
Oh, really?
You know who is a friend of the show, Vince Carter. He was very like animated on the bench. He was like kind of like another coach out there, where like while the coaches during a timeout would like kind of huddle up.
Yep.
He would kind of grab the team and kind of like tell us what the coach is about to basically tell us in like 20 seconds. He was kind of that guy.
Okay, but not all right. All right, fair enough. Lakers, by the way, at home here in Los Angeles are 6-0, but for some reason 1-4 on the road. Why is that such a big discrepancy? Well,
they got to figure it out, and their defense has to travel. They can't. They have to get easy buckets on turnovers and causing that, and get out in transition and do what they do. So they have to do that, and they haven't been doing that. They're inefficient. They're not causing as many turnovers on the road. So they got to be better, because again, they are an older team. It's not like it's nerves. It's not like it's pressure on the road. Like
they're the Lakers. They're used to.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse for this, but I think they'll figure it out. I think it'll even out, because they have all the capabilities of being a great road team. So.
It's kind of surprising, because the Laker fan base, they really travel.
They're everywhere.
You know, but like Chandler said, their defense has to travel. Forget the fans. They can't go out there and get stops for you. They got to be able to put 3 or 4 stops together, especially when you got guys like LeBron James and you got Anthony Davis back there anchoring you on that defensive end. It has to translate when they go out on the road.
It's also call a spade a spade. When teams come play in LA, they probably go out the night before. So they're 6-0 at home, because they don't do that when they're their own team.
That makes more sense. That is actually some good science right there.
I never did that, but those kids.
No. Everyone knows you're professional. We've got to take a quick break. When we come back, he's back. Bobby Portis joins the show.
Run it up, run it back.
And there's panic in the studio. I can feel it. Here we go. There are going to be a lot of these. So, Chandler, you're up first. Zion Williamson, indefinitely out. The hamstring is an issue. A lot of injuries in the course of his career. His numbers have been down from the 2 All-Star seasons that he had. Panic button, are you hitting it on him returning to an All-Star form?
No, he's going to be an All-Star again, but it is you panic at just his availability. He's one of those guys like a Joel, like a AD, like a Kawhi Leonard, where you just have to start factoring in that Zion Williamson is going to miss time, and whether that's kind of physical trait, whether that's a personality thing or whatever, it's unfortunate, because he's one of the most dominant, explosive players to watch that we have in the association.
Dear God.
And it's just sad. It's almost sad. He's not like a guy where I'm like, oh, he's soft. Like he's not. I feel for the kid, because he is so good and he just can't catch a break. And even now his numbers are down. He's still averaging 23, 8, and 5. So like it's not about talent. It's not about
bad luck.
It's just he can't catch a break. So I am panicking, just because it's just like a here we go again type of scenario. And it's tough, because their team, again, fully loaded, is pretty solid and they can compete, but. It's just he's so important that without him, they don't really have a chance.
I'm gonna go a different angle with this, and I say we're hitting the panic button. He won't return back to All-Star form simply because of the numbers. Like the game is moving on. A lot of these young guys are gonna be perennial All-Stars. It's not gonna be a lot of spots left. You know, just off the top of my head, you got Anthony Edwards, SGA, Lucas. You have the Kyries of the world. You got the Wembys emerging. You still got KD in the conversation. You have so many guys, and it's only 12 spots in the All-Star game. And the NBA is a what have you done for me lately league. And so you got so many of these young guys putting pressure. You still got LeBron James. You still got Anthony Davis. The game moves on, and I don't think he'll be available enough to continue to do that. Now, will he be able to put up big numbers, be impactful? Absolutely, for the New Orleans Pelicans, but specifically to be an All-Star, you got to be available, you got to play games, and the game is moving on. And it's just he hadn't been able to get over the injury bug, and so I'm hitting the panic button.
And to go off Lou's point, he's not one of these guys where his game is going to age very well. He's not like this Kevin Durant shooting. You know, he solely relies on a lot of strength, a lot of athleticism. That's why I kind of worry about Giannis too, as he gets later. When you can't shoot the basketball at a high level, that is how the game is going. So when you have guys like Zion, like Giannis, that depend a lot on their athleticism, their length, their youth. It's tough. So I still believe in him, because I still think he's young enough, and I think he's going to put in the work. But I'm panicking as a team here, because they're kind of all over the place.
What will have been, we may never know. Jimmy Butler has not played more than 64 games since joining the Heat in 1920. 2019, 2020. I don't want to confuse anybody there. He's already missed the last 2 games. I know, that's weird history. He's got the ankle injury. He's averaging his fewest points since his 3rd season in the league. Lou, are we hitting the panic button on Jimmy Butler?
It's early. It just feels like something is off in Miami, and I think this is a carryover from last season when they fell short. Like, you know, Miami is one of those teams you always feel like come playoff time, they're going to be in the mix because of how they train, how they work, the Heat culture, and all of those things, and how they attack the postseason. But it feels like something is off, and I think it starts with Jimmy Butler and his health and his ankle. You know, him not being available, they've had to lean on other guys to get them through, and it just hadn't been enough. And so I just don't know. I'm hitting the panic button. It's a vibe. I'm a vibe check type of guy, and I don't feel it.
Yeah, I'm panicking just on the overall, like Lou said, their team is just in a funk. And Jimmy's averaging 16, Bam's having career low years, averaging 15. Tyler Hero's their best player by far, and their team isn't winning. And I'm just kind of over this whole Miami Heat scenario where I don't worry about them during the regular season. They're going to turn it on in the postseason. Their teams are too good now. Teams are too deep, they're too balanced, where this team, I feel like everyone kind of caught up to them and honestly are passing them. So when you look at a guy like Jimmy Butler, again, he's my draft class. He's not exactly a spring chicken. He's getting older too. So I think he still can find ways to be productive. But when you look at this, and you look at the injury history, and you look at the state of this team, I'm definitely panicking.
All right, panic is being hit. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Bobby Portis on the other side. There he is! Oh, he is back. And by the way, thank you, Bobby. I know it's the second night back-to-back. They have started officially, but we welcome you back. All right, can we talk about Giannis? I mean, you had a great spot for a 59-pointer last night. What's it like watching it happen? Can you tell there's a switch that's gone off? What's the bench like?
You know, first and foremost, you know, playing on a back-to-back is always tough. You know, obviously, you know, the day before, well, with us, it was kind of cool to have a back-to-back at home. But for the NBA fans that don't know that, you know, NBA back-to-back is kind of, you know, gruesome. This is like our third back-to-back early on in the season, too.
Put it out there, BP.
You already had three.
Put it out there.
I have to tell the fans, like, it's not really just, you know, easy to
really understand,
you know, play a
sure.
back-to-back, let alone have 59 points on a back-to-back. So I think the thing that he did last night was kind of historic, especially with, you know, the season that we're having right now. You know, gruesome start to the season, obviously starting off 3-8, and then obviously having K-Mid out. Dame didn't play last night. I didn't play. You know, it was a big load on him to carry. I think other guys stepped up and played their roles really well, but he just kind of stamped it for us, getting the dub. We were down 18 at one point, 57-75. Stormed back to get the dub, so it was a big game for us. Even though it's early on in the season, we needed that win to the utmost.
Bobby, when I saw this Isaiah Stewart foul last night, I couldn't help but look for you on the bench and kind of wished you were playing because I'm sorry. I think this is dirty as hell, and especially doing this to Giannis. This isn't a basketball play. What's your take on this? Because I don't think there's a place for this.
Yeah, you know, obviously we're all competitors, and you know, obviously I respect Stu a lot. We compete. Obviously, we are in the same division, so I play against the Pistons 4 times a year, and you know, we always compete with them. You know, no matter what the record says, whatever it is, it's an NBA game. Guys compete, emotions go crazy, and you know, on this particular play, I don't think it was a basketball play. It was necessary, especially just to, you know, pull someone down by their jersey. You know, things could have got out of hand. He could have got hurt, or whatever it is. So definitely wasn't cause for, and definitely one of those things where I'm glad that, you know, he was okay after the fact.
Now, if you were on the floor and he didn't get ejected, is this something where you remember this and he's going up for a layup? Like, do you give him, like, or do you chuck him on a screen when he rolls? Like, is this something that you keep in the back of your head after it happens?
I wouldn't say that. More so with the refs, for sure, man. I always try to keep them in check, keep them intact, man, because, you know, I'm a guy that kind of gives kind of hard fouls every now and then as well. So if they let that one slide, they got to let one of mine slide, too.
Fair enough.
Hey, look, y'all fooling yourselves if y'all don't think Bobby go get his lick back for us, right? Next time they run into the Detroit Pistons, you fooling yourself. Bobby, team-wise, you guys not off to an ideal start, but y'all been able to put back-to-back wins together. What do you feel like? What's clicking? What's changing?
I just think for the most part, guys are just trying to settle into their roles. Sometimes it's tough when you add new guys that don't know our system, new guys that you know, that that kind of don't know how to play with other guys. You know, the chemistry and the camaraderie has to be built throughout the 82 games, and that's what the season's for, to go through the highs and lows, to, you know, obviously you don't want to, you know, lose 6 in a row like we did early on in the season. That's more of a mid-season thing or whatever it is. But, you know, with us, you know, we're not panicking. There's no panic button. It's more so just, you know, we just needed just a little bit of straightening, man, a little bit of practice time, a little bit of time together, a little bit of building, a little bit of camaraderie, and, you know, obviously playing against the Raptors and the Pistons the last couple of days. But, you know, we needed those 2 dubs to the utmost to try to get back into this race. You know, one thing about the league, you don't want to fall too far behind in the race, because, you know, there's a big chance of you, you know, not getting into that play-in.
Yeah, Bobby, I was going to say, just looking at the standings, obviously it's 12 games into the season. But
still in the mix.
It's the East.
Yeah.
The home court advantage right now, the 4th seed is the Knicks with the 5 and 6 seed. So obviously it's not an ideal start, but is that something that you also keep track of? Like, look, the Eastern Conference is wide open this year. So although we got off to a pretty bad start, we're still right in the mix.
2 games out of 3rd.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
2-game winning streak.
Like you got to think about it, like the 3rd place team is 7 and 6. So essentially, if we would have won all our home games, we'll be what, 7 and 5, 7 and 4. So like it's the room for error in the league is that small, right? Like losing, you know, big games. We lost a couple huge ones to Cleveland, obviously at home. Donovan Mitchell hits the sidestep, you know, game winner. Then we go to Cleveland, we're up 5-6 points with a couple minutes to go. We blow that one. So a couple more wins, we're right in what 5th, 6th place in this thing. So it's the margin for error is small, but, you know, to fans saying, oh, they're 4-8, they're done. It's not really like that, man. A couple wins, you're right back in the fold.
I mean, I know last season there was a bit of a struggle period, and y'all had the meeting, and Doc's like, everybody speak your mind. Did you guys do that already? Was there something like that that's already happened this year?
I just think for the most part, it's just more on the players, right? We're the ones out there working. We're the ones out there having to build that camaraderie. We're the ones having to know if someone pops, then the guy on the slot line has to cut. I think it's more of a chemistry thing, more of a read and react thing for us than getting together and figuring it out thing. So we just have to figure it out on the fly. You know, obviously there's not much practice time. There's not much time to get better together in those type of settings. So I think we have to use the games and as real preparation for the next game. Like, you know, once Saturday comes, we have to be prepared for Charlotte. Then once, you know, Houston comes on Monday, the same thing. Because throughout the season, obviously we had back-to-back, so obviously today is a off day, so there's not a time to practice. Then you have tomorrow, which will be a travel day, so obviously you'll be in the gym for a short stint, so there's not as much time to build the camaraderie in practice. So you have to build the camaraderie through film, build the camaraderie through, you know, playing in the game and knowing, you know, it's your assignment, knowing the KYP, knowing your personnel on the other team. So we have to build it that way.
Bobby, you made it clear you guys aren't panicking. There's so much basketball to be played left. Now, in the media, there are a lot of rumors. Is Giannis going to ask for a trade? Are they going to fire Doc Rivers? Like, is that something that you guys communicate as teammates? Do you talk to Giannis about those rumors, or do you just kind of keep it business as usual?
Nah, man. Since I've been here this is my 5th year in Milwaukee, man. Every year I've been here, they've been talking about, you know, Giannis leaving or whatever that is. So I think that's just like a every year rumor type of thing. That's kind of, you know, it kind of gets a lot of clicks, right? Like, obviously this year is getting more clicks because obviously our record is what it is right now, and guys, there's so much speculation around the team, so much speculation. Can this team get it done? Do we have the right player? Whatever it is. But, you know, us in our locker room, I think we're kind of close-knit, and, you know, obviously there's no, I wouldn't say pressure, because obviously our end goal is to win the championship, and obviously if your goal is to win the championship, then obviously pressure is obviously a part of it. But for us, nah, man, I don't really, you know, listen to all of that, because, you know, we are trying to do something special. Guys in our locker room are locked in entirety, and we know what we have, and we know what we got to do to you know, to get it done.
Like, how do you keep some of that stuff out? Like, if your name is out there in trade rumors,
Yeah.
Where would you even see that, or how do you try to keep that noise out? Is it even realistic to do
Nowadays,
that?
all you gotta do is follow Sean.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, nowadays, all you gotta do is have social media for real, man. There's so many different fake pages that have they have all these pages that have, NBA teams have all these pages that follow them, that kind of build them, that kind of follow their season, follow the players, follow what's going on with the team. And, nowadays there's so many fake pages trying to control the narrative, trying to create a narrative about certain guys, whatever it is. But over my career, I don't really pay attention to those things, right? I just try to focus on being the best Bobby Portis I could be on a daily basis and letting the dominoes fall where they fall. Because at the end of the day, you can only control what you can control in this league. And that's your effort every day. That's your hard work every day. That's your being a good teammate, being on time, being the best version of yourself every day. So all the extras you really can't control. I just try to stay within myself and, just try to stay within being the best version of myself on a daily basis.
I had a wise vet once tell me, control what you can control, because at the end of the day, if you get traded, it's banks everywhere.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
Facts.
That is a wise bet.
What do you say again? What do you say?
Control what you can control, because it's banks everywhere, man. Look, it's banks everywhere. Control what you can control.
I like it.
Absolutely.
Bobby, you guys played Boston on Sunday, and there was a viral moment of Giannis doing the whole fake handshake thing.
Yeah.
What do you take of that? Is that just Giannis being Giannis? Is that just who he is? Is he trolling? What's your thoughts on that?
What's crazy was I was in the game. I was on the right side in the right dunk. I think I had slid over because I seen he was going down. And I was actually on the left wing. And once he did it, I didn't really think much of it, right? Because, I'm not really looking at him fake handshaking anybody. I'm just getting back on defense because, the Celtics, they like to push the tempo. No matter if the shot's made or missed or they get a call, they like to get the ball out and push it right back at you. So I'm just getting back on defense, doing my assignment. I actually didn't see that clip until after the game, and I actually thought it was kind of funny, though, for real, because obviously we played them in the playoffs. Obviously, they're a team to beat right now, so just the magnitude of the game was fun, and sometimes you gotta have fun with it, man. Sometimes we take this too serious, and sometimes you gotta have fun with it. I think that was he doing at the moment. Wish we would have got the win, but it was still a fun game to play in. It went down to the wire. They ended up pulling off at the end, but it was a great game to play in for sure.
I mean, Jaylen Brown called him a child afterwards. I think both sides are funny in this particular one, but
I don't even know if that's an insult.
I was gonna say I don't know that it's an insult. He has a childlike quality about him. Giannis does with the dad jokes.
They always go at it though. If you followed our last couple years or whatever it is, they always been going at it though for a minute. Though. They always had these little back and forths, little technical fouls, little bumping each other. So I don't know if it's something brewing right there or there's something brewing, but it might be though, man. I don't know, man.
I like it.
Hey, Bobby, the Cavs are 13-0. You guys have played them twice. What feels different about this Cavs team and their approach this year opposed to last?
I just think their mentality is a little different, right? Obviously when you have the same group, for this is like their third season now together, so having the same group, having guys that kind of know their roles, know what they can do to help the team win, and then having your stars up their game and get better. I just think that's what's different about them. It's their mentality, their approach. And then once you start to win and feel what winning is like, you kind of get addicted to it, right? So doing the right things and winning, doing the right things to help you win kind of make you get addicted to the process. And that's what I see with them right now. They're kind of getting addicted to, winning, kind of get addicted to how to win and, just learning how to win. And then obviously got to give Kenny Atkinson some love, right? Obviously first year head coach over there with them. He got them rolling, man. Some of their offensive sets is tough. He kind of trying to unlock Evan Mobley, which I kind of like. I love a big that's kind of versatile, can do a lot of things. So big shout out to them for sure. Mad you guys beat us twice already this season, but got to give respect where it's due, though.
Bobby, before we let you go, I know everybody saw this story when it happened, but somebody was foolish enough to break into your house. And what's happened with that? Anything?
Yeah, man. You know, obviously, really unfortunate situation as well. I was actually playing against the Cavs last Saturday, so it's not even been a week yet, man. So it's kind of crazy, you know, especially in the world we're living in right now. You can be at work, at your job. I hate to say work, but you know, we get paid every 2 weeks. So for me, it's work. I'm at the gym hooping
It's work.
Saturday
You ain't
against
got
the
an
Cavs.
option. That's work.
That's work, right?
Yeah,
So
that's work.
I'm at the gym hooping against the Cavs, come home, and then, you know, some of my biggest, you know, hard-earned belongings get took from you. So obviously me and the police cooperating with them, we're trying to get down to the nitty-gritty, but I'm confident and for sure that we'll get everything solved. Just an unfortunate situation, but I'm blessed, man. You know, small thing to a giant.
And you pick a house to break into, and it's Bobby Portis's. Bobby, as always, we appreciate the time, man. Thank you.
Sure. Good luck, rest of the way,
Appreciate
bro.
y'all.
Appreciate it, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
And we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back.
The running back.
Got some Dallas, Utah coming up on NBA TV. Mavericks have lost 3 straight. 5 and 6 on the season. They're in the West, so
There's
that ain't
panic,
good. Luka's numbers are down. Chandler, are we hitting a panic button here?
Not yet, but if they lose tonight to the Utah Jazz, whoa. Yeah, that would not be good. But I think they kind of have this hangover of going to the finals last year. And when you do that, you have expectations. And I think everyone thought they got better this year. And I'm still looking at these 3 guards where it's Hardy, Grimes, and Dinwiddie. They've got to get more from them. You know how good the backcourt is. PJ Washington's missed some time, too. He's a valuable piece. You got to see a more balanced attack for them. That's always been the thing. Luka's going to be great. He's going to get his numbers. Kyrie Irving is going to be great. What can those other guys do, and can they defend? Can they be a team where Klay Thompson's not making shots, Luka's having off night? Can they still win games in the half court play?
And didn't they get off to a slow start last year?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I
and
know,
eventually
it's
they
so
ended up
early.
picking it up. Yeah, so I'm not panicking on this team. They got more than enough talent to get it turned around. But very much like the Eastern Conference. Listen, you gotta start getting going now. You know, 20 games should be your marker to start cleaning these things up because the game is going to leave you behind. But I'm not panicking.
1 game tonight.
Well, I know this is the game of the night. I know it just feels like in the West, if you dig the hole early, it will just be a much more difficult road. But because right now, we've been talking how bad the East was. I mean, they're in the 11th spot with the...
Yeah, they'd have home court advantage right now if they're in the Eastern Conference, but the West is just
When the
deeper.
night even jumped to 9.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Isn't it so funny we're looking at the standings every day? But
We have to.
20
That's
games.
the
And as a
game.
player, too, if a player says they're not looking, they're lying. You are always looking who's
Absolutely.
ahead of you. You're looking at their
Liars.
schedule. Like, you are always looking at the next game and the next
Just
week,
called a
so-
bunch of people liars for no reason. I hope you feel good
It's
about
just
that.
all players.
I guarantee you there's at least one guy out there that's like, don't care. Not yet. Not till
They all
Christmas for
peak.
some. That is going to do it for us. Dennis Scott on the show tomorrow.
3D.
All right, so think of some good questions. We'll see y'all mañana.
Run it back, run it up, the running back, run it up, run it 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 back.